What up?
Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. Just came from an absolutely spiritual transmission of some beautiful sound healers. Farmer Dave Scher, Kassia Meador, my man,
Judson.
Birza.
the drummer for Wizards of the West.
That's it.
Welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
We are live, baby.
Kassia, can you talk about the calling that you have as it relates to the music that you make?
For me, music is about surfing sound waves. So I come from surfing in ocean waves, and for me it was like kind of that same feeling and that same motion and movement in riding sound waves. And that's kind of why I just lended towards working with the crystal bowls, the gongs, things that are, non-linear. They have no specific rhythm or specific way you play them. It's just allowing them to flow, like riding waves.
Do you feel, though, that music is a call? You seem to have your hand in many bags. I mean, is music a calling for you?
Music, actually, yeah, working with vibrational therapy and sound is absolutely a calling, and that's how I met my friend here, Farmer Dave.
Now, how did you guys meet?
We met actually playing a crystal bowl. My first one that I had like 8 or 9 years
The same
ago.
one, or was like multiple? Or like it was like 8 of them.
Well, I have one at my house that I don't bring out much, and Dave's played it too many a times, and that was the first one.
That's unbelievable. So then, what is? Explain what we just witnessed from your point of view. How much improvisation was there? As far as, I mean, Dave, you guys first walked around with chimes and bells, and then there was all sorts of shakers and drums. The gong started, then the lap steel came in. Is it all improv?
I think it was about 99.9999996% improv. There was one little piece where we, just like an airplane, it takes off and it has to land. So that's why that's not improvised. You have to land, and you're a fish, you gotta breathe air and water.
But the improvisation comes from the choosing of the instruments themselves.
No, it comes from what's happening in this co-creative container. Because really, the room plays us, which for you guys who are like music heads, you go to those bands who do that because you're part of it. That's sort of a difference why the Deadheads would love it.
Dude, it reminded me of Garcia 83 Tiger Space. I was totally in space the entire time.
Yeah, we get to be there with you. Sometimes we have to come back to Earth like, oh, what was that or this? And we were duetting with a hypnotherapist. So we might have been a little terrestrial to allow her to tell her story into that room.
One of our mottos is "Space is the place," and that's what it really feels like.
Oh, it's the Sun. Don't steal that line. That's Sun Ra's line.
Well, there you go.
No, but my question is, you let her breathe. You let her stretch out.
Oh,
but then at a certain point, she moved. Wow. She moved away.
Yeah.
And then you really stretched out.
She told us that her journey, which uses this certain kind of speaking and neuro mapping, she said it takes a certain amount of time, and when it's there, she'll relinquish the floor for a while. And that's what happened.
How important is it how much do you feel you've built a community around sound healing in this region, Farmer Dave?
We built it, and it built us, which is great.
It's a reciprocal thing.
Yeah, and there's more people than you know, and it's spreading. For one thing, since we started, almost every yoga studio is sort of expected to offer sound, at least in Southern California, and even my hometown of Long Beach. I went
the
with
greatest town in California.
I went with my mom and our family friend, and people I'd known from high school have a new sonic temple. They're doing Kundalini, holographic sound, and this is on 2nd Street. Like, the demand for it, I think, is in step with the increased vibration of the earth, with what seems like intense times, but is actually a beautiful awakening of our species. I think it's in perfect harmony that people are wanting something a little different.
Kassia, do you have faith that the revolution is going to be a revolution of consciousness?
I absolutely
do you
have faith.
Explain what you see tangibly that makes you believe that?
Well, people talk about it being part of the revolution for evolution, and I feel that it's part of that now. I have more conversations, more often than not, with people that I just met moments before about this, about people waking up, about how we can be more mindful, about how we can live and have a smaller footprint and be taking care of ourselves and each other more. People are really waking up across the board, and people are taking more time for each other. And I feel like, it's also sometimes easy to see the other side of it when people are rushing around, because there needs to be contrast. So I feel like in that case, I'm witness more now to the contrast. And also in that kind of contrast witnessing, there's so many more people that are activating, taking better care of themselves, their families, their friends, each other, stopping to have conversations like this, asking how you can hold space for another person, communicating about different mindfulness practice, like what Dave was saying, yoga, breath work, sound baths.
And not wanting to perpetuate problems in family lines, things
Dig.
like alcoholism or abuse that have traveled.
Trauma.
Like, the buck seems to be stopping with our generation and our few generations who are going today.
Will the
Yeah.
baby boomer generation leave the stage, though? Will they actually leave and allow us to take over? I don't take over is the wrong word. But here's the question, Kassia. Why then do you say careful about going back out into the real world tempo? If you have that much faith in humanity.
I do. And at that time, because people's frequencies are raised, you're also more sensitive. And I think as we kind of work on ourselves, you become more sensitive to what's going on outside.
No.
And you become more empathic. So it's just about being mindful of your space, knowing that you might be moving at a little different pace. So just taking care and being cautious.
We drop, not only do we change the pace, we change sort of the molecular field of the room. You could call it a holographic shift, a 0-point vortex of focus. And that's a space that allows for the healing and the transformation. And it's also a surrender of the, Jake Feinbergness that's required of you just to go throughout the day. We're pulling everyone out of that, but then that it's still expected of you to stop at a red light, to answer the emails. But when you go deep on a sound bath, you're actually pulling that apart to allow clearing. So it is important for people to hydrate, don't operate heavy machinery, or at least call me and let me come along and hang out,
Yeah.
The molecular thing is that covert? Or is that something that you can actually see?
I think it's the brain waves of meditators, people in prayer mode of focus. I mean, even sports teams have people do visualizations.
Absolutely.
It's tangible, just like water and molecules can be seen to have resonant, proof of different shapes, like cymatics and things. It seems like it might be woo-woo, but it's actually the most basic colloquial wisdom is grounded on those things.
Just for the record, Angels rocked many people to sleep tonight at this sound bath. People were snoring vigorously next to me. It was the most beautiful thing. Farmer Dave, tell me about how important it is for the music to come out of the community. I was down with Harold Brown in your hometown of Long Beach. That was Ward's drummer. All those cats grew up within 10 miles of each other.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg used to ride his bike over there when they were practicing, okay?
Yeah.
One of the greatest bands in the world. Wizards of the West, regional band. How
Yeah.
important is for the music to come out of the community being made by real human beings?
It's important, man, and I think that anyone who's watching you, it's a real reward to start investing time and love in the bands and music that's coming out of where you live. And it takes a little shift sometimes. As a touring guy, I was used to always being around other touring people, and now I love to see bands that are starting out. And Mar Vista has so many opportunities for that. And with the Art Walk, we're allowing bands to play in public in front of people and get people out of their homes to check it out. I think that's grassroots vibration raising. Like you're gonna go to Greenleaf Wrestlers tonight.
CR wants to see you too.
Yeah. He was like, "Hey man, are you coming out?" I was like, "Hey, I have a
Do
sound
it, man.
healing."
You gotta come, man.
But I was saying, "Hey, I have a sound healing." He's like, "Me too." Meaning that the bands are doing the same work, and it's you could call it the same thing with 0-point vortex. It's the same thing whether or not you're in a scientific container or at a good show with people who are playing for those reasons.
Got to build our Merkabas.
Oh, I didn't think you were going to talk. He's talking. The Farmer, next, I just want you to promote. Well, who are the Wizards of the West, by the way? I want you to put those guys on the map right now.
It's a group with Benjamin Adalberto Knight,
Oh, beautiful.
who is known as a beautiful DJ of the...
Oh,
he'll
Ben
be-
Knight. Yeah, I saw you
he'll
guys
be-
in the elevator
yeah,
rocking out.
He'll
Yeah.
be playing music. Judd here, myself, and a bassist named Brian Bartis. It's a good band. We have a record we're just finishing now. and we've curated a good show, Club Pacific, this Thursday, the 28th in Venice. It's been a good raging Pacific party for years, on and off. When it's time to do it, we throw down mightily.
It's at Del Monte, the speakeasy.
The Del Monte
you gave Pearl
Speakeasy.
Charles her start there.
Yeah, she did, man. She came down there with the blank tapes, and then when she started going solo, it's always been fun.
So that's the 28th with my boy McCutcheon too.
Yeah, Austin will be there.
I love that cat, man.
Beautiful singer named Cornelia Murr, who actually I met at our soundbath. She was going to the Deep End and the other art fair.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. And Golden Days, a really hip, young, psychedelic,
Oh,
really
God.
well written, these guys. So it's on. Aquarium Drunkard, music extraordinaire journalists are going to be DJing. And there's some other peripheral people who are making this thing happen, who are Jessica Wright, Cosmic California from out in the desert, who's done a lot of vibe
I know
work
Jessica.
up at
She's
Fernwood.
fantastic, yeah.
We love you, Jess. She'll be there. It's going to be a situation, so anyone in the greater Los Angeles area should come out Thursday night.
Kassia, one final question before I know you're starving. What's your concept of love?
Concept of love is all things. All things, everyone, starting with you and expanded outward.
Can you give a tangible example of that?
Yeah, I guess it's just like, I focus on love and joy. So to me, love is joy, and it's how I feel inside. And by taking that joy and working it inwards and expanding it outwards, I really see people affected by that love. I bring that love to the water. I bring that love to the sound. I bring that love to everything I do, even the things I don't love to do. Whistle while you work. It's putting that vibration out of love, and it starts with inside.
Does the joy have to come in conjunction with peace at the same time?
I don't think anything has to come in conjunction with anything, I think that if you really incubate that true gratitude and love and respect for yourself, then it starts to go outward and change all your experiences, and that brings joy. It brings all those other elements together, but not one without the other, but they don't also have to be together at the same time, if that makes sense.
Bathing with the sound, people. Much love to you.
Yeah.
Bless
much
you all,
love.
man. It's the Jake Feinberg Show. We'll see you later.